Sorry, I'm on mute as usual. But hi, hello, and mabuhay. This is Chris Lina, and welcome to this very special episode of GeekClicks. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. And I'd like to invite everyone to please, like the pages that we're about to show. But yes, first, welcome. Unang-una, salamat po kay Chester Minoru, who's an avid watcher of the and supporter of the show. Thank you so much for watching. And abangan nyo, he's gonna guest next month sa Geek Clicks. Thank you so much, Sir JV Ruanto. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys are watching this live, please type hashtag GeekClicks Live because we're interested to know if you're going to watch this. We want to know which time would be the best. Ngayon lang ang actual time that we have it set almost every Saturday or Sunday of the week, or almost every Sunday of the month. Every Sunday actually, yun yung live natin. But we can adjust it depending on your schedule. So hashtag GeekClicks Live if you're watching this live. Hashtag GeekClicks Replay if you're gonna watch this on replay. Yan. So let me start by first promoting the pages. Let's start off with please like the Philippine Toy Photography Club. It's a group of enthusiasts that are geeks and like to take pictures. I don't know really what to say, but we like to take pictures. We like to tell stories on our pictures, and we just have fun doing it. We play and we take pictures while we're at it. So ayan, teka, close ko lang ang aking mga chat windows while it's still opening up. Anyway, so yeah, we have a lot of good toy photographers in the club, and if you want to share your own toys, your collections, just join us. Yan, may rules naman. Simple lang naman. Then, it's very simple to understand. We have a lot of great artists, so join the discussion, join the club, and also like the page, GeekClicks. Yan, or actually like the page, the Philippine Toy Photography Club. Teka, I'm not sure if I share the correct one, but let me just do it. Uh, if it lands on the same page, forgive me because I'm not on my usual computer where I have everything set up. But yes, please like the page or join our discussions. Let me just reshare it one more time. Here we go. Here's the page. Like it if you haven't already, because we post content here. We feature our artists, and it may not be as updated, but at least you get to see what's new in the toy photography scene. Yeah, and also this is my chance to only chance to promote GeekClicks. If you haven't liked it yet, please do so and click on the like button. And there's manage the notification setting because we do random lives as well. So we call it the play date. We go live, we review pictures, comic books, toys. We open toys on camera, and we discuss a lot of things. So, ayon, currently we are live. I know that we are. I know that you guys are watching through the Facebook Live, but you can use the kasi ako yung admin nito eh. But you can use the follow settings here. Yan. If you want to stay updated on how we go live or when we go live, yun na lang. Okay, so tapos na ang ating mga promotions. Let me just read the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Saturday, sorry, Sunday. I meant Sunday. And Saturday, let's see if we can do that. But yes, definitely tell us your available schedules. Wait, thank you so much, Ilian Estrella. That's a great way to start your collection. I know that he's gonna start his own Marvel collection, starting with Superman or sorry, Spider-Man. So yeah, it's a good way that you're. It's a good thing that you're watching this because I know that you're geeking out right now. And shout out to you. Shout out to you, sir, Antonio Alcantara, one of our great artists in what do you call this in Philippine Toy Photography Club. And hi to Sean Novillos. Yeah. All right. So let me, without further ado, I'm gonna introduce my good friend. Yeah, I consider him as one of my great friends. Kasi ang kind-hearted ng taong to. I've known him since 2016. It may not be that long, but I've seen him deal with people, and man, this guy has a pure heart. Believe me, and even his kindness tends to get abused at times. And with that, actually, he put up a business with the hanggang ngayon naman din yun ang purpose to help people get sabers. Really, I can't say how selfless this person is because hindi naman niya kailangan kumita ng marami. Mayaman na tong taong to eh. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Saber Sentry, Mr. Glenn Chua. Hi.
Brother, what's up? Good evening. You flatter me, my friend. Pero tama ka naman. Just happy to help, happy to geek out, and happy to be your bud, man. So good evening, good evening.
And good evening then. It's been a while. And guys, if you've seen Glenn Chua way back pa, ang laki ng pinayat ni Glenn Chua. How many kilos did you lose, brother?
That's around 48 pounds. So divided by
48.
2.2, that's around 20,
20?
24 kilos. Yeah, about 24 kilos, thereabouts.
But still, di ba? And that's actually while geeking out. I really
Yes,
like
of
that.
course.
Kasi, yeah, for our viewers, because I know the story, but tell our viewers your favorite game that you played that made you lose weight.
Sure. First, it was a little game called Ring Fit Adventures. I think you guys have seen that. Some of you have seen that circulating around the internet. But it's a Nintendo Switch game that involves this peripheral yoga ring thing, and you play the game once a day, and you're led through these so many different exercises. As in, it was a funny story because for the first week, after 1 week of playing, I couldn't walk down the stairs
Ooh,
because my thighs were burning. I mean, grabe, as in from 0 squats a day to 120 squats every day. I mean, that just messes you up. Everyone was laughing at me, and I was laughing with them because as in, I felt like a cripple. Like I had to grab the handrails as I was walking down every single day. Glenn, kain na. And I was like, oh, shucks, no.
kailangan
Pero
bumaba.
yun, oh, di ba? As in, it started with Ring Fit. And then after the coronavirus hit,
Mm-hmm.
I became even more tawag dito. I wanted to focus more on my health because syempre
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid. I was
Mm-hmm.
told that there was no cure. So syempre, if there's no cure to a disease, the most that you can do is to make yourself as healthy as possible to let your body fend it off by itself. So after that, I transitioned to fitness boxing because
Mm-hmm.
fitness boxing is, well, it had two things going for it. It was super cardio, and cardio for me is like my body responds to it the best. And syempre, because wala ng office, I couldn't walk to and
Mm-hmm.
from the office, so I had to find another way to do cardio. Pero it's all, and the second thing is it's a rhythm game. So I was always been a
Mm-hmm.
big fan of Dance Dance Revolution, Guitar
Nice.
Hero. Oh, and
Uh,
before that, of course, tawag doon ulit, Just Dance 2019 was when I played it on my PS4.
oh,
So
okay.
yon, I've stuck with that ever since. One day, every day for like siguro mga 400 days now straight. So
Ooh.
30 minutes a day, just 30 minutes a day.
It's-
That's an episode of Netflix. Maybe one and a
Ah,
half episodes of anime. So
actually,
if you,
no?
'di ba? Yun bro, yun yung
Yeah.
nag-motivate sa akin eh. Parang if you can give up just one episode of Netflix and you can become a lot healthier, sounds like a good deal to me. I
It
think.
is, really. And ang galing eh. And you have fun doing it. And it's, para sa akin, it's a game. And
Yeah.
that's what makes it really, that's what makes it, not think about the fitness in that moment. Because it's a
Yeah.
game, eh, di ba? Yeah,
Pretty
ang saya
much,
lang
yeah.
din.
So it's double purpose. You get to geek out, you get to game, and you get to lose weight. So put them together. Panalo.
Actually, no?
Yun ang
Promise.
isip.
So, because if yun nga, ibibida ko lang din kasi one of my fitspirations, yes, is Glenn.
Mm.
Kasi ang saya lang din na nakita ko yung part na yan. And here's one more thing. Maki Maglonzo says hi. One of my friends na voiceover actress or voiceover actor din na bumili sa'yo ng Saber recently or I think that was last year or a couple of years ago. Yeah, na-recommend natin.
Happy to help, Maki. Happy to
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
And I'm still here. So if you guys need anything Saber related or anything
Ah,
in general, Star Wars, if you just want someone to geek out with, I always tell my customers, kasi a lot of whom have become my friends, yourself included, my brother. Pero I always tell them first, and I still maintain this. I am a Saber bro. I am a fellow geek before I'm a seller. So
mhm.
that means na we can skip the formalities. I'm here for you. I'm here to help. And I'm here to be transparent with you. Yun lang. So anything you need, I'll do my best to help. Ganun lang talaga kasimple.
And I can testify na ganon na experience with the Saber Sentry ever since.
Dude, thank
Honestly,
you, thank
ever
you.
since eh. Kasi, well, I have only four sabers. Two of which I bought from you. The other one was way, way back when we were starting out. You were in Saber Sentry back then, diba? And that was a dual saber. So at least, diba? I can testify na at least the experience was great. I had great deals with Glenn Chua, exclusive deals because of he's just a kind guy, really. So yun. Okay, one of my friends kasi is talagang sinasabi ko na kumuha na siya ng saber sa'yo and get the it's a new technology to me because ayokong tingnan ng sabers talaga dahil ayokong bumili. um, tag dito, what do you call the one that lights up from the hilt going up again? Is it Neo
Ah,
something?
string blades. Okay, so that's the thing. They're effectively called string blades. String blades, as the name implies, inside the blade is a string of LEDs, and they have multiple different names: NeoPixel,
Neo
EchoPixel,
Pixel.
Plector Pixel. So maraming terms,
So
because
yan.
that's when you go into the branding na of the actual. Either
Mm,
system, or because if you're a saber company, you can call it whatever you want, but
exactly.
effectively it's called a string blade saber.
A
So
string
there are
blade
two
saber.
types. There are really just two types of sabers in the market. I mean, from a lighting perspective, one
Mm-hmm.
is the string blade. That's what was discussed, and the second is the in-hilt saber. The
In
in-hilt
hills.
saber is basically a flashlight with a hollow tube. So there's nothing inside the blade. It's just a tube, an empty
It
tube,
is.
and the light is just reflected inside,
Uh,
self-contained. Siya. Like Chris, I see you're holding one right
yes,
now. That's
actually, and that's the
the
last
radiant.
that I got from you, diba?
A gorgeous, gorgeous saber, I think. So
It
yeah, that's an
is. It
in-hilt.
is. It's
And
an in-hill saber.
in-hilts are typically lighter, they're more durable, and they're cheaper to replace mga broken parts niya. And
Mm-mm.
tawag dito, they're not as bright as the Neo pixels or the string blades, but they're also tawag dito they're a nice entry level. Yun lang masasabi ko. Yun. There are pros
Yeah,
and cons
yeah.
to each naman. So yeah, that's pretty much
Yon.
it. But don't underestimate their brightness. For those who are wondering, they're still brighter than any lightsaber you can buy in
Yes.
the toy stores. Yung mga 11,000, 14,000 brands ng mga sabers, yung mga hobby shops, it's still brighter than that. But like what I
Yes.
always tell everyone naman who asks, there's no such thing as a bad saber. Depende naman sa anong ginagamit mo, what your preference is. So whatever you want. I mean, there's a role that each saber will fulfill, no matter what your desire is.
Yan. Ang ganda, di
Yeah,
ba?
sorry,
So,
medyo
it's
nag-geek out na
fine.
ako.
That's actually that's encouraged, brother. Ayun
Oh,
nga, so
nice.
Sir Perry Chua, you know what to do. Sabi nga niya, legacy na, sabi ni Perry Chua. And
Yun.
he's a fan of Luke Skywalker. And kalalabas mo lang recently ng isa sa mga magagandang sabers. Teka, hinahanap ko siya sa ano mo.
Good man. It's the
Hinahanap ko sa
legacy.
page mo. But
Pero
yeah,
Perry, Luke is also my favorite character sa Star Wars
there,
franchise. So
there you
it was
go.
it was a crime for me not to keep one of those legacies for myself, which I did. It's somewhere in that room, pero
Yan.
yeah, I mean, there it is. Oh, it's a gorgeous piece talaga. That's all I can really say.
Diba?
That's
It's
what
a
I
although this one is an in-hilt saber, diba? This you do have the string saber
yes.
variant din, diba?
Yes, I do. It's
Mm.
coming in right now. It's a little held up lang in customs, but it should arrive and to customers who will get it. Pero yeah, you can choose two configurations, either in hilt or string blade. It's up to you.
Nice. And ayun nga, you were talking about the sabers not what they call this, the sabers not or being too bright or not undermining
Mm,
the brightness of the inhaled sabers. And kaya nga for the others, tama ba if I say na kaya nga na-imbento yung blade plugs din, not just for aesthetics, it's not to blind people when you point it at them.
exactly right. Blade plugs fulfill two purposes. One of them is to make them look prettier. Because let's yeah, exactly. Because let's face it, when you turn off a lightsaber in the movies, you don't look inside and see a bulb looking back at you. No, no, no. It's a device. It's an emitter. It's like that. What you guys see on the picture right now. Thanks for pulling that up, Chris. And the second is when Sabers first came out and I started selling, a lot of people were very excited to the point na they would shine it in front of their eyes. The rest is history. Parang I've gotten a lot of complaints. Yung anak ko, ano nangyari sa anak ko? Sa isang oras na siya nahira. Because it's really bright, guys. And it was the funniest thing. But yeah, that's why blade plugs were also invented in order to prevent people from being a little too careless with
Exactly.
their
But
with their toys.
I remember there was a prank. I still I laugh and I feel sorry at the same time. There were moments na may sira ba to? Tingnan mo nga, and then I'll flash it.
Yeah,
Dati. Yung
totoo, totoo.
mga prank na ganun na moments. I'm not sure if I did that to you dati when we were playing talaga, no? That's what we
Oo,
did
syempre. Up
sa
to now,
Makati, Ayala Triangle, yeah. Kung
good
wala
times,
lang
man.
din, I would say, 'di ba? Kung wala lang pandemic, we would still play with our saber, spin it around and such, 'di ba?
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
yeah,
Kasi
true.
yun, paraffol daw.
Paraffol. Ay, sorry, good luck kung ipaparaffol if they can beat me. No, I'm just kidding. Kasi
Ayun.
just kidding. Pero ayan, sabi ni Cesar Menor, same group din ba ng nephew ko na si Jax? Uy, si Jax Gonzalez.
Jax! Grabe, I haven't
Yeah.
seen Jax in forever. But Chester, to answer your question, yeah. How
Yeah.
is Jax
Jax.
doing? I mean,
Oo nga, musta
yes,
si Jax?
yes, that's the Philippine Lightsabers Guild. Pero there are also other groups like Lightsaber Philippines, which I'm more active in, and tawag dito. There's also Vis Eterna. Vis Eterna is a pure combat related. So if you really wanna take sabers and fight
Mm.
with them, you go for them. Pero yun, there are multiple groups. But Jax, yes, is a member of Philippine Lightsabers Guild. I don't know if he's still active, but I remember Jax, and it's been a while. It's been a really
Nung
long time.
yeah, there were two of them na pumasok ng sabay sa Philippine Lightsaber Guild. That was Jax Gonzalez and
Yes.
Noonki. I forgot
Noonki,
Noonki's last
yes.
name. Yeah, right?
I also remember him as Noonki, but that was a long time ago, like two
That
years,
was a
3 years.
long time ago. Yeah,
Yes,
and
brother.
yun nga eh, they were one of the active ones. Bakit pa ano? Well, they were both gay, and I'm saying this with the context of them being very flamboyant when they have a choreo. Very
I loved it.
flamboyant. I love their gymnastics level when they perform choreography with lightsabers. Ang saya, promise. Na tipong nakaka-bend ka ng ganun. Kami hirap na hirap.
I do miss them
Yeah,
too.
nag-stand out talaga sila at that time, di ba? Let's say hi to Sir Christian Cabrera, who's gonna guest next week. So stay tuned, guys. Hindi ko binubuksan, by the way. Someone sent me a PM. Pailawin mo kaya yung saber mo. Hindi ko siya iniilaw kasi I'm not sure if the sound is on or not. But
Oh,
eh,
no, bro, I got you. I got you covered there too. Of course. No
there
way
you
I'm gonna
go.
no way I'm gonna start this interview without bringing one of these
Of
bad boys.
course, diba?
Wait,
Now
let's
let's
make it
talk
green.
about is that an inhaled saber that you're
In
holding?
Hilto, this is my personal
Yeah.
saber. I actually carry this with me, bro. If you want a upselling opportunity, hindi, joke lang. I can
Now
get you.
go.
I can get you one of these that so that you can clip it on your belt and you can carry it along with you. Kung gusto mo.
Oh, so that is the what do you call this? For the
Cover tech
sake
wheel.
of yeah, the cover tech wheel, which you were, I was really a fan of that dahil sa'yo, dati pa, dahil naaalala ko, you go to work with the
Mm-hmm.
saber,
Yes.
with the cover tech clip on you,
Yes.
going
I
to
do.
work.
I was known as the Saber guy, and I did it with a passion, and everyone just sort of rolled with it. My company had no problem with it, naman. Pero just a fun fact for everyone here: half the time, if you see me walking in the malls, and my fiance can attest to this, half the time I would be wearing this around my belt. So, yun.
Ang saya kasi,
Pwede.
and pa-demo daw. Pwede daw
Oh,
pa-demo
sorry,
yung
dude.
legacy.
I don't have it with me right now. I don't think it's charged, but it's somewhere there. But
Ah,
it's basically you can check my page lang siguro. I'll upload the video soon.
yeah.
But
Yon, yon.
it's basically tawag dito, it has the features of all the other sabers. There's a video of the Radiant. Chris's Radiant has a video
Mm-hmm.
uploaded on my
Yep.
page. Just scroll down maybe 6 posts and it's there. It has the
Uh,
same features as the Legacy. Because the internals, brothers and sisters who are watching, they're pretty much the same or very similar. It's just the outer shell that's different.
mm,
But the features are pretty much, the same across all of them.
yan. And I'm looking for that video so we can, oh, ito,
Yeah.
yung features
So
of the
smooth swing
saber.
demo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's like three,
Uh,
4 posts down. And
yan.
there, that's
Teka.
the Radiant. Yeah, there we go. Yun. So if you want the Legacy, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So, so this the features carry on from one saber to another, right? Um,
Yes, that is correct. Unless we update the board. Now, the suppliers kasi
mm,
update the board every so often. Pero once it's updated, it's there to stay. And it applies to all the models that I get moving forward. Ayun, you can change your sound fonts.
nice. Siyempre, you stop that Vader.
Of course. My second favorite character. Pero green, so... yeah,
And
that's
that's
it.
the
That's the
beauty of
race.
that. Ang saya din dahil ano it has a lot of colors din that you can go. And dati, uh, ano ko lang din ulitin ko yung nabanggit ko sa mga friends ko na dati we used to have the color discs that we
Yeah.
had to place inside in between, tama ba? Sorry, I'm going ahead of you, but
No, dude, tama yan. Tama
it
yan.
was just an experience na you get a white blade or you get a saber with a fixed white LED, and then you just put in color discs and combine them, and it would give you a different light based on the combination. Yeah,
Exactly right. Yeah, we've come a long way since then. Pero,
sobra no.
yeah, oo, grabe. As in, it was such a hassle to change color because you had to unscrew the blade, you had to literally put it in between the flashlight itself. And as a result, because there was a literal piece of plastic blocking the light, the blade would actually become dimmer. But
Dimmer.
I tell this to a lot of people also, pero sabers are like phones. I mean, if you take a phone from 4 years ago and you take a phone today, they're vastly different compared to, in terms of features, in terms of the construction, even in terms of the
Mm.
variants that you get. As in, the same is true for sabers. As in, the technology, because of the popularity of the franchise, has really accelerated. So, sabers 3 years ago, Chris, and then sabers today, sobrang night and day na sila. And I'm just excited because 3 years from now, what else can we expect, diba? So I'm still praying for that day, brother, when we can have a saber where if you press it, the blade will deploy. I mean, matagal pa
Oh,
siguro yun. But I mean, think about that. I mean, I don't know how we're
exactly.
going to do that, but if we do,
Ang saya, no?
my
Actually,
gosh,
no?
my gosh,
I,
oo.
I never thought of that kasi I mean I've seen the new ones, and I was nagpatulong pa nga ako sa regarding kahit may instructions na piniyam talaga kita because of and how this works kasi
So many
grabe eh.
features. So many
So many
features.
features ayun nga, and this was just and the last one I think was 2016 na iisa lang ang sound font, right?
Yes, that's
Now it
right.
has 9, 'di ba?
Yes,
Ang ganda
it
ng
does.
technology. At mas mura, significantly mas mura, mas
That's right.
magaan. I can say na dahil because I'm more into combat from Visitor
Yes.
na, shout out to Visitor na guys. I'm more into combat, and I would say na this is durable enough for us. Right? I guess the only complaint is, or not much of a complaint, but it would get it would take us a little time to get used to the lightness because it's too light.
Mm.
We were used to the ultra sabers which were very thick back then, which you supplied back way back in the day. Ang saya lang din, promise. Teka, basahin natin yung mga comments natin. Ang dami. Yan. Pwede ba demo? And then Peter Parker de Guzman, thank you so much, sir. String Blade is NeoPixel.
Yes.
That was a branding, no? Just to answer your question.
That's right. Sorry, it's baliktad. NeoPixel is a
Is
string
a,
blade. So
there you go.
it's both. Technically, it's both. Pero more accurate is
Ah,
NeoPixel is a string blade. Plector
it's a
Pixel
string
is a
blade.
string blade. Echo Pixel is a string blade. Call them
Mm-mm.
whatever you want. It's like saying Toyota is a sedan, or no. Toyota is a car brand. Uh, Honda is a car brand. Mga ganon. So it's a
Uh-huh.
class. It's a name to a class, and the class is string blade or in hilt.
Nice.
Too
I think
busy na pala
he's
ano,
too
si
busy,
Jax.
yan. But yes, Jax, Justin Lawrence Gonzalez. Yes, we all are still friends on Facebook, despite what happened to Coruscant, which we'll not talk about. I'm just kidding. Solid, sabi. Si Christian, mga ganyan, pwede bang naka-on magdamag like nightlight or mabilis tumingin?
Mm,
That's a good
good
question.
question.
Go ahead,
I
bro.
can answer that. The answer is unfortunately, well, no, unless you modify it, because I don't have it with me right now. Pero the lifespan of a lightsaber is typically an hour. 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes if you want to be specific. So it will not survive the night. Pero what you have to realize is there are modifications you can make to the saber where you plug it in, you bypass the battery, and you leave it plugged in an adapter so it can light forever if you want to. Hindi na siya mainit. I mean, it'll get warm, sure, pero over time, it becomes tawag dito, it can withstand the heat. In fact, in the days of the conventions, which I miss so much, I would have two lightsabers, one red and one blue, perpetually turned on sa booth ko. So
I
those would
remember those
be
days.
the decorations of my booth, and I'd have them run from ingress, which is at 6 a.m., until everything closes at 10 p.m. So yeah, if you have a saber, I can point you to someone who can modify it. I can probably
If
modify it myself, pero I'm just saying
may
it is
time.
possible. Oh, if
Ah.
my time, it is possible. But if you do it, it's non-reversible because I'm literally gonna gut the internals, bypass the battery, and for me to put it back, I need to resolder it. So it's a one or the other thing. Do you want a saber that you can actually take with you and combat and play like a regular saber, like what Chris and myself have, or do you want a nightlight? And if you want a
Yan.
nightlight, I think you can. Yun, yeah. These are actually ito demo lang ito eh. But I wonder if they're there. No, they're not there right
Hindi,
now. It's
hindi na.
probably in another side. Pero those sabers that are lit are perpetually connected to the saksakan. So they're
Mhm.
lit up. Yun siya. But those I just turned on for the sake of for photo. Gosh, I
Photo.
miss those days. I miss
'Di
those days.
ba?
Pero good question, Chris.
On sa convention or sa ToyCon, which I'll show in a bit yan. Makikita nyo ang
Sure.
mga sabers yan ni Glenn Chua. Teka, mga ilang ToyCon na ang napuntahan mo as the Saber Sentry? Yan.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. Every year, I think around five
Yun
or
nga eh.
seven. So I've been doing this for. Well, I've only been started acting in cons. Shout out to my partner, Long Live Play PH. You can check them up Facebook, on Instagram, and on Shopee. LLPP, Long Live Play PH. Shameless plug. Pero they're the ones who I partner with sa mga cons. They sell toys, and I'm the one who sells the sabers. Siguro to answer your question, Chris, over 25 cons. 20 na lang,
Nice.
para conservative. 20 conventions. I've been to 20 conventions. I've lost count, and it's been that's a dead meme. But if you guys
I
remember
know.
that meme, banana for skin, it's the banana that sold for how much did it sell for? Ilang $100,000.
Yeah.
Pero yeah, man, yun. As in,
Yep.
I've been to over 20 cons, and every time I
Over
would go
20.
to those cons, I would always be the main seller because the only reason why I really do it was what you said sa intro mo, brother. I do it for the thrill, for meeting new fans, just for geeking out. The profits, those are secondary. It's really
Mhm.
just connecting with the community and sharing a common passion. And that's what fuels me to talk for 10 hours straight sa mga conventions, to stand for 4 hours at a time just talking to
Yeah.
folks to answer their questions. But
True.
happy to do it because ayun, that's my shipping. That was really funny because those four sabers that you saw there,
Ah,
I was shipping four sabers and they were all going to four different parts of the Philippines. So that's why I had to take a picture. Northern
ang
Luzon, the
saya.
Metro, Mindanao, and Visayas. That was great. So those
Nice.
customers are happy. Yan.
So wait, walang restrictions when sending them locally.
No, there are caveats. Like
Mhm.
the biggest issue with shipping sabers, kasi locally, is the battery. If
Mhm.
it's a triple A, those are called alkaline batteries. Mga triple A, double A's, those are not allowed. So I have to remove them. But if it's a lithium ion battery, then that effectively places them in the category of cell phones. And cell phones you can send with a certain limit. For LBC, and don't quote me on this because I can be wrong, but it's last I heard it was two batteries, as in, so I could ship two sabers at a time to a specific address. So any more than that, I'll have to ship it in multiple batches. But I mean, no
Ah,
one really orders more than two sabers, naman. No, they
usually
do,
no.
but not often. Not often. I'm like thinking,
Ah,
I think 80% of the people who order maximum of two, so it's not really a problem.
ah.
But
It's
yeah, so it's not that much of a hassle.
I see. Okay. So anyone who wants to order, Glenn ships nationwide. Yan. Okay, sagutin natin yung mga tanong nila. There
Sure.
are very good questions, but shout out
Oh,
muna
yeah.
kay Lay or PJ, one of my friends who was an active member of Visitor na, pero bumalik na siya ng Davao. So, yan. Also a
Pele is
magician,
a
by the way.
long time. I know him. I've seen him many times. I think I've seen him a few times na, pero yeah, he's
And
a supporter of the brand also.
very, and hello there, Saber Sentry Glenn and Lord, Sith Lord Assassin. He knows me well. Yan. Perry Chua and Tops have the same question. Beginner sabers.
Ah, it's what Chris is holding right now. Uh, okay, so when it comes to beginner saber, there's really only one thing that you need. The one thing that classifies a beginner saber for me is the price. Because like I mentioned kanina, the sabers in my store right now, from the Radiant to the Legacy, the Raptor, the Reaper, whatever what you have, they all pretty much have the same internals. And the what I'd offer as a beginner saber is a saber that is price affordable and is comfy to wield. Because a lot of the sabers that are fancier, like the Vader saber, Luke saber, any of the movie sabers, they're not the best thing to use. They have sharp edges. They dent easily. They can scratch up. I've lost so many shirts because it would snag on my shirt, and yung tela makapit. So, in terms of a beginner saber, if you want to be specific, it's the Radiant and the Talon. Those are my starting sabers, and they cost 4,500 on the shop right now. 4,500. That may be expensive for some, but please note that these sabers are combat grade. Like they are meant for intense whacking and for
Mm-hmm.
uh, dueling even. Please don't
Mm-hmm.
duel unless you have proper safety gear. I just want to make sure that people don't
Yeah.
start hurting each other. Pero
Yes.
in terms of like the functions of the Radiant are the same as the Legacy, except the Legacy is double the price. So if you're comfy, there, that's it. If you're comfy with the Radiant, which in my opinion looks sick as all hell, that would be a great starting saber. And if you get two Radiants, you can actually combine them into a staff. So
Which
the
I'm a fan of for people who know me that well. And it changes
ayun. So
colors. Eto yan I'll tell this to the people who are watching. Wala nito dati.
yes, true.
Walang nagbabago ng ulitin ko yung the what I was telling earlier that you had to have discs for you to
Yes.
change colors. Ngayon pwede ka na mag-switch sides on the fly, right? Ang saya ng part na 'yon. So and a lot more features, but to me that's what I like. For 4 5, man, that you're getting a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Oh, sorry.
mhm.
Go on. Go on.
Go
Go
ahead.
on.
No, no, no. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. 4 years ago, 4 5 saber will only get you a saber with one color, no sound fonts, and
Hmm.
the hilt is very plain, like plain black with a few silver highlights. Now 4 5 gets you that. So it's night and day talaga. So if you
Yes.
wait, if you wait 3 more years, it's gonna be even better. But right now, it's in an amazing. Sabers are
Very,
amazing, amazing
very.
in terms of what they can do now. So I hope I answered your question, guys. But if you want a starting saber, Talon Radiant, those are the best.
Yep. And it
Plain and
comes with
simple.
a bag. You don't
Of
know how
course, you gotta
weird
be
it is.
mobile.
Ang ganda eh. Kasi, eto we can't be like Glenn who's well ikaw kasi naka-clip naman eh. But if you're holding this lang, 'di ba? You may actually use it as a tungkod or a cane for
Yes, you
some,
can.
'di ba? Minsan although that time at that point you may damage the blade. That's what I'm just saying. Pero
Yes.
with a bag, you're saber safe. And uulitin ko, dati wala na mga ganito. Walang freebies like this. It may be small, a small thing, but for me, it's big kasi it's the safety of your saber. Yan.
Totoo yan.
Sabi
And
ni...
also,
sab-
Chris, sorry
Go
if I
ahead.
may
Yeah,
interject.
sure, 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 sure. Go ahead, Will.
The weakness of carrying it on your belt is you can't have the blade. So either you put the blade on your back and it's awkward as all hell, or you leave
Ah,
it in the
yeah.
car or in your house. So if you're carrying it on the waist, like I said, I'm waiting for that technology to come when pwedeng lumabas doon sa ano. Pero what you have on your waist is effectively a glorified flashlight. But if you're carrying it in a bag, then you always have a saber that you can use as a tungkod. And I'm looking for a picture on my phone right now because this is
Sige nga.
hilarious. Um, I actually used it on a hiking trip because I could.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Let's wait. I'm trying to look for it.
interesting, ah.
It's difficult to look for, but it's in here somewhere. But yeah, dual grade sabers are durable enough to withstand the rigors of nature, except water. So be careful. Sabers are not water. There are waterproof sabers, pero that's a topic for another day. You sacrifice a lot of things to make them waterproof, pero it does exist. And but if you want to hike with it, by all means, kaya mo naman siya.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am looking for another picture, a poster, a tarpaulin right now. While I'm looking for that,
Oh
sabi ni Perry
no.
Chua, Luke Skywalker all the way because he's a
Hell
fan.
yeah, man. Same.
Legacy V4 looks super nice from JV Ruanto. So you
It's
know what to do.
amazing. Yeah, if you're
Um,
interested.
yep.
Miriam! It's been too
Hi.
long.
It
So yeah,
is right.
it's
Not
way
just
too long.
Miriam, also MP Noble.
Grabe. Where have you guys been all this time? I mean,
Wala
ay,
lang.
COVID blues. Yun ang masasabi ko.
True, that is true. Now, I want, ito ibibida ko to kasi it's a proud moment for a friend. Ito.
Yes, brother.
Yan, 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 yan. Very, very proud, guys.
Oh my gosh. Where did you dig up that relic? Grabe.
And etong matindi, it's a post from Taskas. Tama, no?
Yes.
Tama yung pagkaka-pronounce ko.
Ask us. That's the company I work for.
Ang saya lang din, di ba?
Yun yung mga ano namin. I'll provide some context.
Looking good, bro.
Thank you.
Ang saya lang din, di ba?
Ayan, 2019 yan. Ayan.
2019, yes. Ah, so you had a string saber back then
That was a
pala.
string blade. Yeah, that's true. I have
A
another.
string blade.
I have. Totoo. Okay, so the little context lang regarding that video, brothers and sisters who are watching. Taskus is the company that I work for. It is a BPO company similar to Telos, Accenture, but syempre I'm biased. Pero they really put emphasis on their people. And for that specific segment, it was to showcase their employees who were more than just great workers or great employees. They wanted to show that they were great people. So all of those people featured in that video had that passion that drives them to be better, to excel, to embrace what they love to do. So what you saw there was we had someone who was an advocate for animal rights and animal shelters. We had as in he had no leg. He had a prosthetic leg, but he would
Mm-hmm.
compete in triathlons. We also had a DJ, a cosplayer, and of course myself, the Saber geek performer. So, yun, that was what that segment was about. That was a long time ago, actually, and I was happy to be their little promoter, and it was one of the highlights of my Saber career, actually.
Ang
Very
saya, ang
proud.
saya. And ito, basahin lang natin yung mga comments ng ating mga friends din. Uy, si Nicolo, Nicolo Pasco.
Hey, bro! What the heck
Hello,
are you
man.
doing here? What's up, Nico? What's
Number
up?
one merchant.
Mm, Hilum
Of
for life,
course, di
brother.
ba?
Here to represent
JV
you guys.
Rowanto says, you
You
can
can
immediately
immediately.
switch Yes.
Jedi Sith. Laugh trip talaga.
Kayo
Wait,
yan.
Chris, if I may,
Yeah,
ito
go ahead.
me.
Ito.
This is
Sige.
it's the picture of me hiking with the saber. So, yan, ginawa akong tungkod nga. So, kayang-kaya talaga. This was me and my girlfriend, who's now my fiance, and we walked, I think, 15 kilometers. We hiked. I forgot the mountain. It was
Ooh.
somewhere in Pampanga, but we were hiking on a trail, and that was what I was using. And it was no problem because it was when we stopped. It was around 6:30 p.m. and madilim na. But since I had a portable light source, everything was perfect.
Ang saya, no? And there
Super,
were
super.
there was a moment even sa Big Bang Theory na you call that what do you call this? You call
Oh, you
that a
call that
glow
a glow
stick.
stick? That is a glow stick. I mean, in that specific moment, my friend, I was overjoyed. As in, parang represent the
Same.
Star Wars fandom right there.
Oo.
And Big Bang is one of my favorite shows. Also, I mean, are you surprised? No,
Sobrang
of course not.
nah, actually. Ayan, may question si Perry Chua about the difference between the Radiant versus the Talon.
Barry, they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. Okay, if you want me to be specific, the insides are exactly the same. But the Talon doesn't have windows, as in the little vents that you see in the top part of the Radiant, which I think makes the Radiant more badass. But another key difference is the Talon, you can easily. Ang ganda ng O-rings, brother. Those O-rings are a nice touch.
Yeah.
The
Pero ito yung
Talon, you can actually unscrew the bottom part of the handle to reveal the battery quickly. The Radiant, you have to take out 3 screws to reveal the battery. This makes battery replacement for the Radiant a little longer. Like it'll take maybe 30 to 45 seconds if you want to replace the battery. But both naman can be charged by plugging in the charging cord. But what's nice about the Radiant is the Talon is effectively in 2 pieces, in 3 pieces. The top part, the middle where the switch is, and the handle. The Radiant is one solid piece. And because it's one solid piece, it is effectively more durable because there are less failure points. I've had many instances wherein someone was dueling and over time, naglulusan yung threads. And that's
ah,
an issue. I mean, this is something that
true.
you can easily just remind yourself to tighten it if you feel any semblance of it weakening. But there are pros and cons. So the
Mhm.
short answer is they're the same saber, iba lang yung itsura niya, but the longer answer is what I just described. There are various
Mhm.
threads and also
Mhm.
if you notice the talon, mas mas matindi yung grooves niya, so it has a better
Mhm.
grip. But then the Radiant also has a rubberized grip, so they're pretty much the same on that part. But
True.
both of them are great. You can actually combine both of them to into one staff if you want. But personally, I'm a huge fan of Windows. Hello. So I'm biased. So if it were up to me, I'd get the Radiant. That's just me. That's just me.
Pogi, grabe. Ang
Thank you,
saya
thank
naman
you.
'yan.
Actually have
Ayan
a
sige nga.
actually have a Radiant here also. So
There you go. Those
here's the gold one, which is extremely
hmm,
popular. Surprisingly, nagulat ako how many people opted for gold because gold is not a
nice.
canon color. But if you want to be pimping with a
Mm.
saber, might as well go gold or go home. Yun lang, just a
Ang
quick
saya.
demo.
And yun yung binabanggit ni ano, yun yung binabanggit ni Glenn kanina about the windows, yan. Um,
That's it.
and surprisingly, di na sila kasing sharp ng dati because some
No.
people dati 'di ba, way back people would get um uh tawag dito, would get wounds or they would get scratches because of those they'd get injured, especially sa combat. And I'd like the point that you made when it comes to the combat and with the screws, ang
Yes, the
laking
threads.
difference nun. Because you would get, I don't know, in the middle of a combat and you get or if you're you get these two parts loosen up, man,
Yes,
sira ang game mo. Sirang-sira
totoo.
ang game mo.
Totoo. And also, if you're performing, if you have like a choreography and it starts
Yeah.
loosening, it will interrupt the choreography because you're gonna be, oh shit, sorry, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Do I subtly tighten it in the middle of the flow? Pero
Hirap.
yun lang. But you guys who are watching the stream right now, if you're a newbie, this shouldn't be a problem. Pero I'm just saying there are just pros and cons of each. Yun
Mm-mm.
lang. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really up to you. Yeah.
that's
Walang
true,
one size
actually.
fits all. Mm-mm.
Wala actually. Sabi ni Perry Chua, pwedeng gamitin sa photography or toy photography. Actually,
Totally.
no? Yeah, actually,
Totally.
one of my shots, ganun, inilawan ko siya. Hindi ko mapapakita ngayon because I have different ones. Pinilawan ko siya because we want to get the glow ng saber ni Kylo Ren. And I used
Mm.
the one that I got from you, the cross guard, to light it up then. But yeah, the point is, yes, you can use it. So yan. See, Lay, oh, Taskas.
Yes,
Nag-heart
bro.
siya.
Yes, bro.
I think
I
meron siyang idea doon.
billboard. Oo.
Billboard number one. Hinahanap ko pa yung billboard ni Glenn Chua.
I have it somewhere here,
Ah,
pero yes,
that's fine.
that image of me with a lightsaber was on a billboard. It was 50 feet tall, and it was in Batangas. I'm not
Oo.
sure if it's still there, but I wanted
Hinahanap
to
ko rin
see.
eh. Eh,
Okay
nakita
lang
ko
yan.
yun.
Nakita mo, brother? Wow, wow. I'm
Nakita ko siya
flattered.
when I went to Batangas back then.
Yeah, trying to find.
Uh,
Ayun, I found it. I can't believe I found it.
nice, nice. Okay.
I don't know which highway that was in, but I would like to thank Taskas for really blowing it out of proportion, literally and figuratively speaking. Pero I'm happy to represent the Saber community. Here's it at
Oh,
night. Anyway, yun lang.
teka. Wait. Wait, sige, patingin nga
Oh
at
no.
night.
Yes. Yan. Ang glare eh.
Ah,
Pero yan, there we go.
yan. Ang
So,
saya.
grabe. People were
Sobrang
messaging me
saya.
nonstop. Pero little
Question.
showcase in my life. Yeah, bro. What's up?
What was your first lightsaber?
Good question.
I don't know this one, but go ahead. Tell us more.
My first I started okay, a little background. My saber journey started pretty late. I didn't see my first Star Wars movie until I was in high school. So medyo late ako into the game. But my first lightsaber came to me after I saw The Force Awakens, and that was in early 2016. My first lightsaber officially was an Ultra Sabers Dark Initiate LEV4. It was a black and silver saber. It was color green, and I kept it for the longest time. Eventually, I donated it to my saber group right now, which is Lightsaber Philippines, and now they're using it for stunts, and so it's still there. But yeah, that was my first saber. It cost me 6,000 pesos. I bought it from the States, and it was actually that saber that kickstarted the Saber Sentry. Because when people saw that I had a lightsaber, because this was after the Force Awakens, so
Mm-hmm.
literally overnight, the Star Wars community flared up again, like it never had before. And people were like, "Hey, Glenn, where'd you get that saber? Can you help me get one?" So I helped two friends get a saber, and then those two friends, after I got them their saber, four friends came to me, and then eventually one thing led to another, and after 2 months, the Saber Sentry was born, all
Nice.
because
Ang
of
ganda.
that saber.
All because of that saber. Kasi the reason why I ask this is it was a good story back then. Kasi until now actually, ang ganda ng story kasi this is when I was hearing you, oh bro, wala ka pang saber, borrow mine. You were always that
Yeah,
person.
of
Sige, tas
course.
picture, let me get your phone. Picturean kita. You were one of the persons I remembered when I saw the moment na merong bata na nagpapapicture doon sa poster. And I did the same. Pero I was seeing you doing that all over. Sige, use mine kung walang ka-combat, ganyan. Gusto mag-practice ng dulon. Dulon pa talaga, no? Dulon, by the way,
Yes,
guys, are yung mga choreographies or at least sequence of moves way
that's right.
back na pinapractice sa mga kaibigan natin yan. Ang
That's right.
saya lang, promise. Kasi yun nga, babalik ko sa point. You always strike me as a heartless guy, or sorry, sorry, not heartless, ang pangit ng term. Sorry,
Heartful.
very, oo, yun nga eh, but you guys get the point na si Glenn lang is just pure at heart, yan. Very, very
Dude,
pure. Kasi, ayun nga, ipapahiram mo, and then, there were even moments na you'll just go sa likod just for other people to enjoy. And, sabi mo, there was a moment then na, oh, wala kang saber, tara, let's group buy. I'll finance muna and then pay it to me once the sabers arrive. Parang, wait lang, what's with this guy? What's the catch? I've been looking at you back then, saying what's the catch? Pero I didn't see any throughout the years. And yun nga, that's worth commending lang. Sorry, I've been rambling kasi it's just a story worth telling for everyone. Yan.
dude,
And
thank you so much.
No,
it really
thank
means
you.
the
The
world.
community thanks you. And yun nga first saber, para sa akin, I'll hold on to that. I've been holding on to mine, but you donated yours. That's a good
It's
testament right
yes,
there.
but I still get to see her. I named her Alicia. Siyempre, you name your first. My sabers all have
Yeah.
names. I donated Alicia, but I still see her like regularly because I'm still active in that group, Lightsaber Philippines. So if you guys want to
Mm-mm.
join, feel free. We're accepting members. Pero
Yep.
yeah, Alicia and I are still together. Oh my god, that
Okay.
sounds really weird. Yeah,
With the
my
fiance, no?
with my fiance. Pero no, nothing can compare with Nikki. Pero Nikki cannot shine up with a 12 watt intensity with ilang lumens. So sorry, dear, you can't do everything. Pero
Ah,
yeah,
sorry.
yun, my saber is still there. My first saber is still there. And as for the gesture that I was doing about being really helpful, I do it because well, the sabers, the wonders of sabers belong to everyone, and I really want, it warms my heart to see kids of all ages, even the big kids like myself, just smile when they see that their childhood is manifested in the very thing that's in front of them, and that in itself is priceless. And I kind of see myself in it. When I got my first saber, I just katabi ko siya sa kama ko for like a month. Oh, because and I thought to myself, if I enjoyed it this much, I'm sure others do also. So it's really not so much the money. It's not the there is no catch, and that's something that
Mm.
I still try to do up to now. I have installments. I have all of those things because I can give you little discounts if it helps you out. Because I've never lost. I'm proud to say, and I'm happy to say that I've never lost that sense of wonder that started all of this. And I encourage everyone listening in to cling to that sense of wonder, even
Mm.
if it's sabers, if it's photography, if it's toys, if it's anime. Always cling to that sense of wonder because that will never. That is what's important because it's yours and it's yours alone. Yun lang.
Ang saya,
Lalim
ang
nun, ah.
saya ng part na
Sorry,
yun,
ah.
ah.
Lalim nun, ah.
That's fine. Actually, ang saya ng part na yun kasi I can relate to that being a magician. Uh,
Yep.
we cling onto that wonder. We cling onto that wonder. That's why we give it back by performing
Yes.
magic, by seeing the spectator's eyes or the audience's eyes. And I see that in you now, or actually now I understand it more because that's what we do nga sa magic. So, ang saya lang din. But okay, we need to get to this question because it's a good one for me.
Sure.
Any
Any dis-
disposable or replaceable parts after
ah,
using it for a while? Go ahead.
Perry is on a roll. Some mga questions. These are great questions. Okay, in terms of disposable, all lightsabers that I sell right now have rechargeable lithium ion batteries. Those would be the first things to go. But when I say go, it's like asking, when do I replace the battery of my phone? So I'd say after a year, maybe more than a year. But sabers themselves are meant to last. Eh. So it's not like razor blades or toothbrushes, pagkatapos ng 2 buwan, 1 buwan, tatapon mo na siya. No, it's not like that. Sabers are self-contained systems. But in terms of the parts, like the way I can speak about the parts that are most often
Mhm.
compromised after maybe a year, and those are just two things in this order. The most frequent is the battery, because batteries, especially those who are used a lot, they wear and tear over time. But what's nice about batteries is, hang on, I think I have a sample of that. Give me a second. This is what's inside your Saber right now. This is a lithium ion battery, 18650 if you want me to be technical about it. But if you want me to be not technical about it, this is the exact same battery you guys find in vapes. You can buy this in any vape shop for 300 to 550 pesos. So they're very accessible. It's the most disposable thing. It lasts for a year, and you can replace this by going to any kiosk in any mall. Or you can get them from me because they're branded. You're assured that it will work. Pero yeah, this is the first thing to go. The next thing to go would be, hang on, it's, ouch, I dropped my saber, but that's okay. They're
Oh,
dual grade. It's dual grade, man. Ano ka ba? Do you think that's gonna
oh,
scare me?
actually.
Come on. The
And ang dami
second thing,
mong savers.
pretty much, yeah. Actually, you'll be surprised. I'll let you guys guess later how many sabers I own. Pero
Yeah.
the next thing to give out is this one. This is the LED module. These give out 2 years. In fact, I've had sabers that have customers who have their sabers for 4 years and they're still working. But again, this is easily replaceable by me. I can wire this in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, in less than 2 minutes, I can rewire this. So to answer your question, Perry, no, there are no disposable parts, but the ones that wear out are easily replaceable. They're very cheap and they're quick. So I wouldn't worry about the longevity of your lightsaber. It's
Okay.
easily repaired.
Nice. And Christian
Sometimes.
Cabrera
Yeah.
would piggyback on the question. Is it easy to
Ah,
replace?
yes.
Yeah. And for a
Yun.
regular guy, without going into someone as an expert like you, would it be easy?
The answer is no. The answer is no.
Hmm.
The LEDs and sabers are very specific to that type of manufacturer. Like this is a saber that this is what's in Chris's Radiant right now.
Hmm.
You cannot. I mean, you can get it yourself by ordering it from on overseas, but you can't find the parts willy nilly, and it has to be compatible. See these four specific wires. These four specific wires. Some sabers have two. Some sabers have three. So it's like saying, can I go to any hardware store to replace the screen on my Samsung A12 phone? And the answer is no. But if you buy a saber from me, I can of course support you there. And it's very simple for me to do so. So quick answer, no, it's not simple. You have to go to the person who sold it to you, but the person who sold it to you should have replacement parts. There is a caveat to this though. Some sabers, like in all things, like in all cell phones, after the kung medyo matagal na sila, if they're older models, sometimes to my dismay, I don't have the parts anymore to replace it. But if that's the case, I have no problem giving you a bigger discount on any new sabers that you might want to purchase. But I guess that's just how it is with every electronics. Whether it's a PS, I mean, I doubt you can easily find replacement parts for a PS2 already, or maybe they'd be even more common. I'm not sure, but
Hmm.
I guess it's the same dilemma. So
Ayan.
if LED to answer a specific question, LEDs, yeah, I got them right here. So message me.
Okay.
I can help
Yeah,
you with that.
and ayun nga, over the years, Glenn studied how to solder just for good customer service, guys.
I
Para
try.
I
Yeah.
can attest to that. Talaga, I mean, for the sake of good customer service, talaga, yan. Si Glenn, I still remember us discussing dati kasi the lithium ion wasn't booming back then, and you studied it. I remember you were active in the forums asking for tips on soldering. So yeah, that's
Oh yes,
just
of course.
me backing up the yun nga how good of a guy Glenn is. So
Ah,
guys,
dude.
great discounts await you. No, talagang ako nanguna ako. Sorry, my apologies for that. But
Thank you.
wait,
No, thank you.
great
Thank you. Of
deals.
course.
Great deals
Of
await
course.
you sa Saber Sentry. Yeah.
Yeah. Pe- pe-
Nicholas really proud when he mentioned
yes.
tropa ko yan.
Yes.
And I was like
Of
that.
course.
Uy, so my girlfriend and
Proud
I
to be.
were driving back then. Uy, si Glenn Chua yun, I was
I'm
like that.
watching. Someone
Sobrang
made a
saya ng
comment. I'm watching over you. As in, I have one kasi in, somewhere in QC. I forgot the road, pero one of my
Mm.
cousins would actually pass by there every time going to work as a constant reminder that Glenn is watching me. Pressuring me to do well. Because syempre younger cousin ko siya. He looks up to me. So parang, yeah. Pero
I
bro,
see.
just to get back pala, I may do
Yep.
repairs on lightsabers, but I'm not an expert. Pero if I like I said in the start of this interview, this segment, I will be completely transparent with you guys if I can or cannot fix a problem. But if I cannot, I will do my best to point you to someone who does. As in, we have sabersmiths who specialize in
Mhm.
these things. And I don't want to mention them right now because I don't want them to receive requests. But I do
Mhm.
know people who can help you with your
Yan.
problems if I cannot solve it myself. So,
Yan.
yun.
So at least walang dead end. That's what I'm
Wala.
saying.
I try.
Walang dead end. At least kunwari may lumang saber, get a new one at least. And that's what you recommended. That's why we have the Radiant right now.
Yeah,
Yan.
thank you. I mean, it's the same with cell phones, brother. I mean, I'm sure we've all been, or we've not been in that situation, but I'm sure we've at least heard of the scenario na parang, sir, I can replace this part po, pero mahal po yan. I suggest bumili na lang kayo ng bago. Same thing with sabers. It's exactly the same thing. So if you have a question that you do not know the answer to with sabers, relate it to a cell phone. Because I'm 90% sure that the answer of that cell phone question can be applied to lightsabers, right? Because they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same things. Don't quote me on that, pero they're very similar talaga nung
Yeah,
system.
actually, at least para lang din makarelate ang ating friends who are watching. Yan.
Yes, oo.
Maki says she's open for donations. Ang ganda kaya ng saber ni Maki. I think that was what do you call
On the
this?
sword,
Yeah, hindi,
I
same,
can't
same na
remember.
sa akin. Oo.
Radiant din ba? Nice, nice.
Radiant din yata. But yeah, mamaya, let's talk Maki. Regardless of what people say, Glenn Chu was the face of lightsaber in the
Grabe
Philippines.
bro. Whew,
Actually,
biglang,
ang saya
biglang
nito.
umilit dito,
Sobra, sobra, promise.
You are way too kind, bro.
I can say
I'm
yes.
I'm just I'm just happy to represent the community. That's all. And I hope to be a good example lang of the community at large because this is an amazing community. I mean, granted, like
Very.
all community, brother, let's talk real here. Unlike all like all communities, there are the not so pleasant people. There are still toxic. There's still toxicity. This is universal across all communities. But at least with this one that I'm a part of, I can say it's an amazing place to be, even with all of the negativity that sometimes can cloud it. Especially with the recent movies that have sort of divided people. Then, but that I think that's a separate topic altogether.
And then there's Gina Cara na nangyari recently, di ba?
Oo, oo. Na parang that was a
Di ba?
huge controversial point, and I don't want to make a stance here, pero
True, true.
I
Yeah.
can say that it is a tragedy for the franchise because it just splits people. Eh. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
that's the issues. There will always be people who support Gina and those who would say she deserves to be let go, but I'm just saying that issues like this just breed conflict. And it's up
Yun
to
nga eh.
us or the sensible members of that community to to be gatekeepers of the peace, no matter how much it may divide people in general. Yun lang.
Nice. Ayan.
Diplomatic mo.
So, then it is just real talk nga lang din eh, di ba? And
True.
you can't really go or well avoid that. I would say in any community. That's a good point that you mentioned about any community. But yeah, nandito pa rin tayo, di ba? We
Oh
still
yeah.
wield lightsabers. We
And we're
still
still having fun.
having fun. Yes, actually.
That's what matters
Yeah.
most. Yeah.
Ang saya. Sabi ni Perry Chua, yes, even mga torches
Insignificant.
uses that. Yeah,
Oh,
actually, that's
torches,
true.
as in those are
Yeah,
flashlights. Do you
yeah.
see what I mean? Sabers are just glorified flashlights. Na may ilaw,
Tot-
na
Totoo
may
naman eh.
blade.
Na may blade, na may
But
design ng gilid.
diba? Oo. I know it's a funny story because if you're part of a lot of saber communities like I am, a lot of the tech nerds, a lot of the saber smiths, they started out making their first lightsabers from flashlights. So I guess it was just a natural progression. I mean, brother, you take away the blade of your radiant, you essentially have a flashlight,
Yeah,
a cool
that's
looking
true.
flashlight. Pero
Cool
yun
looking
lang.
one, yeah.
Pero yeah, like used for vaping, used for torches, and yun, used for ayun, dual na kayo, no problem.
So guys,
I'll
message
be I'll,
the Saber
I'll,
Sentry.
I'll be your adjudicator if you want. I know
Yan.
how to score saber combat, so of course.
Ay, oo nga, no? You do that on sa Lightsaber Philippines din. I visited,
Yes, we
there
do.
was a moment. Go ahead, sorry.
I know. Just to expound on what you said, I those were the
Sure.
good times when we could put on armor and we'd actually
Mhm.
adopt. We would adopt the point system of our Nice and Kendo. We mesh them together to create something that is applicable for sabers. Pero yeah, if you're up to it, if you're not faint of heart, and if you're open to hitting your opponent over the head with a glorified flashlight, by all means, join. Awesome shot. Awesome, awesome shot.
And ayun
LSP.
nga, ito yung mga, ayun nga, Lightsaber Philippines guys that you will get to interact with. And guys, ito, ganito ako ka-proud na kaibigan ko si Glenn Chua na back then, mas mabigat
Uh-huh.
pa siya dito, di
Yes,
ba?
I was a little chunkier. I was more fluffy, but I'm still fluffy on
Guy.
the inside.
Actually, yun nga eh, napakataba ng puso ni Glenn Chua. Yan ang hindi papayat sa kanya. But eto nga,
Oh,
eto,
thank you.
ipo-point ko lang doon, but that's not the point of the picture. Ito yan, Lightsaber Philippines. They're cool guys that you can get to interact and geek out with most above
Yes, sir.
everything. Yan, masaya yun. Masayang masaya silang kasama. Oh, John
Thank you.
Ray says that his saber is 3 years
Wow.
now. Oh, tagal
John, what
nito ah.
saber is that? If you're free to comment on your what saber
Oo
model is that,
nga,
I would be
yeah.
more.
Tell us
Uh,
more. Well, actually, mine is yung dual, yung ano ko, yung staff ko was 2016 din. And
Grabe,
it's
it's still
still
there.
alive. Pero ang ginawa ko kasi, pinalitan ko na yung battery because I was modifying way back then eh, di ba? Nag-experiment ako on my own. But yun nga, it's 18650 na rin. Dati
Yeah.
kasi, tatlong triple A, no? That was
Yes.
it, no?
Four triple A's. Four.
Four triple A's, di
One,
ba?
two, three. Four triple A's.
Uy,
PLG.
James
Yes.
Paul. TLG, yes. He was an active member, a friend of mine who's also a magician. Um, Dalawa lang kayo nakitaan ko ng Scorpion back then. Dalawa lang kayo
The,
nakitaan ko nun.
the
Napakagandang
Scorpion
saber
was
nun.
love at first sight. It is not
Di ba?
traditional by any sense. But Chris, if you can pull up a picture of you can
Oo
Google
nga,
Ultra
sige,
Saber
sige.
Scorpion. You gotta show the folks because um where the movie was the one who to really triggered my saber enthusiasm, the Scorpion accelerated it even further because my eyes were open to the possibilities of that sick looking saber. It's huge, it's not practical, but in my opinion it is a sexy beast, and I
Ang
miss
saya.
mine. Yan, oh my gosh, look at
Mm,
that. Mm.
di ba?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Sobra.
Ayun, oh.
Napakasaya ng Scorpion. I remember, yun nga,
Yes,
dalawa lang kayo nakitaan ko nun ever. Yan. Um, Uy,
I miss
PJ
it.
or Lay says, Glenn's a really nice guy. That's why I have no regrets giving him my
Ooh,
slave Leia minifig.
hey,
If you remember it. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still there. It's still there. Of course. It's the brother Gel. Thank you. It was C2, another Chris, that helped me in Saber staffing, and up to now, I consider it. I consider him as my greatest teacher. And thank you, brother. It really means a lot. I still develop my skill. I still practice it. I still injure myself from time to time, but sacrifices must be made for progress. So, thank you. Thank you very
True.
much, brother.
Yan nga.
From a
Sobrang
staffer to
saya,
another staffer.
Yes. And teka, tawag dito. May comment din sila about, hello there, Master
Hello
Glenn
there,
Chua.
General Marco. Always a pleasure,
And
John. Always a pleasure, sir.
yung
Kyojin, that's still
Kyojin.
alive. My
Wow! 3 years na yung Kyojin
Kyojin.
niya.
Oh,
Nice,
grabe.
nice.
Guys, you are taking me down. You are taking me down memory lane like nothing else. Pero the Kyojin was actually the first of the like that was the first 4,500 peso lightsaber that ever existed. So parang that was like that started what I now unofficially call as the entry level of lightsabers. The Kyojin, which eventually became the Spectre. I mean the Kyojin, which became to the fans who know my page. The Kyojin, which became the it's on the tip of my tongue. This is call it the Spectre, and then the Spectre became the Talon, and the Talon is now the Radiant. So it started from the Kyojin talaga. So I'm glad it's
Sobrang.
still there, brother. Oh, and I'm glad that you're still taking good care of it. But it is still up to now a fantastic saber.
It is,
Up to now.
really. And
Oh,
sabi nga ni,
sexy siya.
sabi ni James Paul Gafford, it's one of the, what do you call this? It's
Yes.
one of his favorite sabers. Yeah. And ayun nga, you did mention briefly about C2. Yun nga, may C1 and may C2. I'm gonna show a video of them
Three
very
ka.
quickly. May C1 and C2 way back. Teka, mali yung sinishare ko screen. Sorry. Let me just pull it up.
Go
There's
lang,
just a
brother.
vid. Yan. Na etong dalawang to, sobrang, ay teka, I think I'm sharing it. Am I? Yeah, I think I am. Am I?
Nothing
Yeah,
so far on screen, brother.
nothing so, okay. Ito na siya. Yan. So the video's loading. So C1 and C2 are spinning, actually, yan sila, yung dalawang mahilig sa staff way back. ng mga panahong to. So yeah,
Yun.
for the people. Na, C2 is a great guy who's also one of the founding members ng what do you call this? Founding members of
LSPH.
Lightsaber Philippines.
LSPH.
Yan. LSP, so yan.
And
So yan lang sila.
he is amazing. Ang galing niya with the staff. Talagang
Ang
idol ko yun.
galing. Sobra.
Galing niya with staff.
Um, which C1 can't do really sa mga yan nga, which C1 can't do kasi hindi niya mabitawan na saber. Si C2 kaya niyang ibato ang sabers niya. Grabe, ang galing. And
10 feet.
these are heavy sabers. Kasi ano siya eh, what do you call this? Saber Forge sabers way back.
Yes.
Ayan.
Yes.
We're a bit over time, but I'll ask you just one last question. I
Of
guess
course.
just tips for
Ah.
beginners in general. What to get, where to wag na where to get, what to get, and things to remember when purchasing or even before purchasing their first saber.
Of course. Okay. So the biggest tip I can give for a beginner is what will you use the saber for? Because if you want to use it for combat or you want to use it to swing around and for playful sparring, I would suggest you go to me or other similar sellers because dual grade sabers are your best bet. They are very durable. They have a lot of features, and the best part about them is they are comfy. As in, the Radiant compared to the saber of Luke and Darth Vader, it's very simple. But with that simplicity comes comfort. So you can be guaranteed not to damage your clothes, not to scratch your furniture. Well, more than usual, pero yun. If you want to go combat, you go for a dual grade saber. But there are also people who just want a nice display piece. So if you want a nice display piece, you can go to any hobby shop, go to Toy Kingdom. You can buy what you call. You can write this down, but you all probably know it if you're watching. If you're watching this deep into the stream, pero mga Force FX, Ultimate FX by Disney, by Hasbro, those are great sabers. They're not as durable, but those are actual replicas or authorized replicas of movie sabers. So that's the first step. Know what you want, and second, know your budget. Um, the saber, a lot of people have been saying, and this is true for me also. Sabers, lason yan eh, because once you taste a good saber, you'd want more of it. So always set a budget first, and try to stick to it as much as possible. If money's not a problem, then good for you. But for those on a budget, know how much you're willing to spend and try to stick to it. And also, it goes the opposite way. I see a lot of this is what makes me sad. There are so many people who think I want that saber. It looks amazing. Here's 20,000 pesos. And it pains me to my core when after a month they say, Glenn, brother, can you help me sell it? Because it wasn't for me. So parang it's sad. Parang it was a beautiful saber and now it needs an owner. It needs a new owner. So syempre I would help them, of course. Pero yun, you have to if you want to try a new hobby, like with any other hobby, I suggest you dip your toe before your foot because you could just end up regretting it. Yun lang. So those are my two biggest tips. Number one is let me reiterate. Number one is what will you use your saber for? Number two, know your budget. And number three, this is a sub tip that I just remembered. Try to be part of a community that shares in your previous two in those previous two tips. So if you want a combat community, Visitorna is still around. Lightsaber Philippines is still around. If you want a toy collecting community, I'm sure Chris, you can help me more with that. Pero yun, pero ako more of a performer kasi. Pero if you find a community kasi, they can give you even more tips because there'll be more people like you who share in your experiences, in your goals, and in what you love out of what you're doing. So I suppose those top three would be fine for now. And also,
Yeah.
there's a little sub tip to tie all of those tips together. Ask questions. Chris is here. I'm here. The people in this chat are here, and we'll be more than happy to help you, no matter what it is you're looking for, Star Wars related, Saber related, or otherwise. So yun lang. That's all I really have to say.
Ayun. Nice. Very, very well said. Ang saya lang din dahil at least we have you to count on to make the at least to balance to bring balance into the galaxy of lightsabers to balance the toxicity out and bring the fun out of it. Really well, I really admire your
Always happy to
outlook.
help.
Thank you, bro. And I already pasted it on the comment section, guys. If you haven't yet, for great deals, just visit the Saber Sentry, facebook.com/the
Thank you.
Saber
Thank you.
Sentry. Teka, bakit nga ba the Saber
Yep.
Sentry? Bakit yun
Yes.
ang name?
Oh, the Saber Sentry is me. Like it's one person. The Saber Sentry is me, and I consider myself as a sentry because a sentry is not only a guard or parang ang tawag dito a sentinel or a beacon of the hobby or whatever, but I'm also a guide. So, you guys watch. What's the name of that guy? My goodness, I forgot his name in Thor, the gatekeeper of the bridge, by Idris
Heimdall.
Elba.
Si
Heimdall,
Heimdall?
kind of like that.
Yeah,
I watch. I'm there
yeah.
to watch. I'm there to engage. I'm there to intro you into, welcome you into Asgard. Welcome to Asgard, and I say, welcome to the Saber community. I will be your guide. I'm here to help you, and at the same time, I consider myself as a because I'm a seller. I don't sell things that I would never use myself. So, little bit of a shameless plug here, but if you buy from my shop from me, I can guarantee you a product and a service that is, in my opinion, one of the best out there. And I think that I've had good feedback so far, and I'm here. But the bottom line is, I'm still here to help. So whatever you need, whatever budget you have to work with, I'm sure I can help you work something out also. So that's why I'm the Saber Sentry. As in,
Nice.
funny story, that silhouette that you see,
Mm-hmm.
the upper half of that is actually me. Oo, yung upper half ng silhouette. The lower half is a generic
Talaga?
picture. Oo, yung logo na yan. So, wala lang. Just something that... Oh, and also, in terms of the logo, funny story.
Mm-hmm.
There are two sabers there, yung sa logo, blue and red. Blue is always above red because good
Mm-hmm.
always over evil. Yun lang.
Ang
Little
ganda.
trivia lang.
Ang ganda
I really
na.
thought about it.
And that's what you stand for, really. Actually, so
Yeah.
something that I always have been admiring, and not just me. I'm sure that a lot of people, including PJ, genuine. Well, not just really stuff, but being a genuine fan, really, and just being a genuine, uh, tawag dun, pure at heart,
Yeah.
type of guy. So guys,
Thank you.
again, facebook.com/the Saber Sentry is your go-to guy. He's been mine ever since.
Thank you.
At
Thank you
least
for the plug.
locally, yan ah.
Appreciate it.
Kasi yun nga,
Yeah.
sasabihin ko nga, wala namang ibang bibila ng Saber dati. Wala pang Saber Sentry when I got my first one. But kung nandito na si Saber Sentry, sa kanya ako kumuha doon. That's one thing for sure. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Thank you, and very well said. Thank you so much, Perry Chua, for watching. Nice feature tonight. Thank you, Ren, JV. Hopefully you can get
JV.
your first
Thank,
saber.
thank you,
And
JV.
yeah, thank you everyone for
Take your
watching. And
time, guys. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere. Take your time. If you want to buy a saber or not, next month, tomorrow, kayo bahala. I'm here to help. Thank you, Chris. Sorry. Yun lang.
that's fine,
Take your
actually.
time.
And that is true. Yun ang sinasabi sa akin ni Glenn ever since. So guys, thank you everyone for watching. Again, this has been Chris Lina, and we have Glenn Chua on the line for us to give us tips, and message him. He's been very accommodating. May konti, syempre, he has his own life. Hindi magre-reply agad, but then he will try his best. Diba? Yun eh.
Yes, sir.
Like you
Of
guys, you have
course.
your own lives. Ganun lang din yan. But Glenn is very, very accommodating ever since. na, ang patient ng
Thank
taong
you.
to,
Thank you, bro.
promise. Yan. So guys, see you
Thank you
next
so much.
week. We have Christian Cabrera, who's gonna join us. A ding ding ding. He's gonna show us tips on photography and Photoshop tips. Yeah. So see you guys next week. Again, this is Chris Lina. We have Glenn Chua right here. Yan. And see you guys next week. Keep on, well, this
Thank you,
time,
guys.
keep on collecting and keep on wielding those lightsabers. See you guys next week. Bye.